Hey guys, newest project in the shop here, my new rock bouncer project. Got the chassis in today. Had my buddy Colby work it up, did a great job. It's modeled after Trenton Park's LS Hero. So that was the general goal of the chassis shape, but from there we're going to kind of depart and I'm going to do my own thing with wheels and tires and axles and all those little different details. The chassis is made out of 3/16 and 1/8 inch solid rod, and Colby welded it all up, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean up a few of these joints with the TIG welder, just make things a little bit smoother. But beyond that, going to do some little bit of work here and there to add tabs and things like that for seats and motors and interior panels and fuel cells and whatnot. But we'll get into that as we get further along in the project. Running gear will probably be some Vanquish Curry axles, hopefully a custom centered rear, Holmes Hobbies BRXL, possibly the Mini as far as the ESC. I'm going to test out and see how that works, see how my heat dissipates. Motor wise, I'll probably be running either a 13 turn hand wound or the puller motor. I think John's going to send along both and I'm going to test those out, see which one works best in here. Steering duties up front, I'll run a Futaba BLS 157. I'll control it all from my Futaba 4PKSR, but that is about it for those type of selections. I'm going to be running the BFG tires from Axial. These are the versions off the ready to run. Actually, they're a little bit harder, not quite as soft as the R35s like you see here, which is my Poison Spider truck underneath. But these should make for good video, throwing a lot of roost, not quite climbing as well, but like I said, good pictures and video most likely. As far as wheels go, I'm likely going to try and grab a set of the new Method wheels from Vanquish. Those wheels are looking really good, and I'm probably got my new favorites there. But beyond that, just a lot of little detail work. I've got suspension links to make, shocks to figure out, and things, a lot of those little details that are very time consuming. So the front end seems to be very limited as far as up travel, so picking my shocks, likely going to have to go with a 4-inch. I was going to try and go with a smaller diameter SCX 10 shock or something like that, but after doing just some quick mock-ups, it looks like those aren't going to be long enough, and I'm going to be riding right on the frame rails already. So I got a lot of it to play by ear, but we're gonna get right into it. Today I'm going to start by throwing this on the bench and hitting up some of these joints with the TIG welder just to smooth things out. But after that, I'm going to try and mock up my axles and get into suspension links and shocks, but that will probably be on the next video. I'm not sure if I'll get into that tonight, but for now I'm going to move this over to the fab table and hit it with the TIG. Alright, I'm going to get set up here for my TIG. The reason I'm doing this is I just want to clean up some of these joints that don't have like a completely full smooth joint like you can see here. So I'm just going to hit that with a TIG, put a little filler in it, just try and smooth out that whole area just to make it look a little bit cleaner when it's all done. And you can see a couple of these other ones, but that'll be the general purpose of what I'm going to do, and we'll see how this turns out. You guys have seen me use this before, or if not, I've got a video on it. But this is what I've called my fixture table. I've got several little fixtures that I use here to bolt down to the table, and then I can bolt my axles in through here, set my wheelbase based on what jig I'm using, and the hole spacing on this plate, which has holes drilled on 1-inch centers. And then I can set up the whole thing. But I also use it as a fab table. I've got a steel top on this bench, but this one is a little bit easier I can secure my part down with magnets to the table, and then I can move this one around still. Alright, gone over a couple of the joints here with the TIG welder. trying to get things flowing just a little bit better in there. Hit them after that with the Dremel just to clean them up just a little bit more, but you can see things are flowing just a lot smoother in there. That TIG welder is nice for that, and it makes cleanup a lot less intensive afterwards. So I'm going to go over a handful of the joints on the chassis, just try and get the whole thing cleaned up and looking exactly like I want. But when it's all said and done, I'm sure this chassis will look really good. After that's done, I may have it sandblasted before I paint, but it'll depend on what tabs and things like that I have to add, and sometimes the sandblasters can end up warping some of those smaller pieces of sheet metal, but we'll see once we get closer to done. At this point, I'm just gonna keep hitting it with the TIG and keep on trying to make this thing just a little bit smoother. So that'll probably be all for this week, and on the next ones we'll get into mocking up the axles and suspension. So we'll see you guys next time.